Hello everybody and welcome. This is ADX here bringing you guys another little video for you. In this video, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to go ahead and discuss a little bit more on the Pokemon Sword and Shield Pokedex conundrum, as it were. So I'm going to kind of read a little bit between the lines in regards to the statements that Game Freak has made in regards to the Galar Region Pokedex. Now, primarily, my first assumption is that, well, obviously, yes, they are going... Okay, so what they said verbatim was that due to whatever issue they brought up, graphical, whatever, animations, whatever, which we've all had those debunked by now because the graphics are obviously crap, and the models are just imported from Sun and Moon. So we already know that that's all bogus crap. But I'm not here to talk about, like, the reasons why they're going on this route, but I'm going to state more on my opinion as to what it could mean, like, later down in Sword and Shield's lifespan, because I want to say that Game Freak is not going to completely forever remove all of those Pokemon from the Pokedex entirely. My assumption goes based on what I've read, which is this. Pokemon Home, which is the Switch's version of Pokemon Bank, basically, will allow you to transfer Pokemon into it from Sun and Moon. However, only Pokemon that Game Freak decides fits the criteria of the Galar Region Pokedex will be allowed to go to Sword and Shield. Now, I'm going to read between the lines here because if I read everything correctly, correct me if I am wrong, what they're doing is that if the Pokemon... You can bring all the Pokemon in to a Pokemon Home, but only some can go to Sword and Shield. This is my original thought here. If that's the case, then I have no reason not to assume that they are in fact going to eventually unlock the ability to obtain the rest of the Pokemon. I don't see any direct evidence, but what I do see is a lot of potentiality here. I honestly believe that Game Freak is not going to 100% exclude a large chunk of the National Pokedex for the sake of what, in all honesty, is cutting corners. They are not doing this because of graphics. They are not doing this because of animations. They are not doing this because of higher quality battle formats. They are not doing this because of battle balancing. They're not doing this because there's going to be over 900 of these little bastards now. They're doing this because they're cutting corners. They're doing this because of laziness. They're doing this because they want to get Sword and Shield out to the public by the holiday of this year. They are doing it to cut corners. Anybody, because I will never be a Game Freak apologist for this crap, anybody who thinks that Game Freak has a legitimate reason for doing this, other than laziness, is just plain incorrect. If 3D modelers who are amateurs by themselves can recreate a 3D Pokemon model with unique animations in their home in less than 2 days, then Game Freak, with its huge staff of professionals, have no reason why they can't do the same. The only explanation that would make any sense to me is just laziness. Game Freak is being lazy. That's all there is to it. They want Pokemon ready for the 2019 Christmas holiday rush. That's all they want. But there's one other side note that I was getting into briefly, and that is they want more money. Sword and Shield are going to be the first full-price Pokemon games. They're going to retail for $60 a piece. That's 20 more than the last 5 fucking generations. Well, no, just the last 3 that I've bought personally. Diamond and Pearl Platinum, or White, Black, White 2, Black 2, and then, of course, X and Y and Sun and Moon, and Omega Ruby and Sapphire. All of those games retailed for $40. Sword and Shield are going to be retailing for $60. And what this says to me right now is that they're going to introduce DLC. And again, I stated in one of my previous videos regarding this topic that I have no objection to them doing that. Until we get our hands on the physical game and some of the geniuses around the world decide to data mine the damn thing, we're not going to know if all the models are in the game. But here's the thing, though. I go and look into other games, like Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I don't shut up about that game, I know. And I'm sure there's plenty of games for the PS4 or the Xbox One that could be the same way here, where DLC packages are released as purchasable, data, basically, usually a couple of gigs or more, that unlock models and characters and storylines in video games that did not exist in the original release. So the possibility is 100% there that, because consider the fact that if they are going to just allow all Pokemon into Pokemon Home from Pokemon Bank, you're talking about 807 monsters that are just stuck in limbo. But think about this, because this is one thing that I remembered, is that they did something similar to this before with Pokemon, I believe it was Sun and Moon. It was either Sun and Moon or X and Y, one of those two. No, it was Sun and Moon. It was Sun and Moon. It wasn't X and Y, because X and Y introduced the Pokebank with it. It was Sun and Moon. The original release of Sun and Moon, they didn't allow us to actually use all of our Pokemon right away, and then they slowly gave us access to every one of our creatures. What makes you think, or anyone think, they won't do the same thing here, although now they'll charge for it? I'm not in any way against Game Freak making money. I am not in any way against Game Freak trying to, make the game. What I'm against is the idea that they have to cut corners in order to release the games on a time schedule. Just because Pokemon, for the most part, has released once a year, every year since it came out, that does not mean that it always has to be that way. You can take an extra year on Sword and Shield to polish the game. If you're working with about half the staff, roughly, who knows how many people are working on town, but if you're working with less staff, then take the staff you do have and give them more time. But at the same token, DLC and loot boxes and microtransactions have overtaken the gaming market over the last half-decade. And I think Game Freak has finally noticed that. Like, they themselves are finally like, yeah, this is something we can stick our toes into, take advantage of, and we can suck some more profit out of our customers. And again, I'm fine with that. If they want to limit the Pokedex, granted, yes, I would prefer it just be there. But if they want to limit Pokemon Home's transfer access to Sun and Moon, or to Sword and Shield, just solely based on what they deem as appropriate to the Sword and Shield Pokedex, that is not okay. But if we do eventually get our hands on them, and I have no doubt that we will, and I'm throwing my hat out there now, that I definitely believe that we will, that if that is indeed the case, then what's there to complain about after that point? Yeah, you could complain paying an extra 30 or whatever bucks just to buy something that should have been in the game in the first place. And you have every right to complain about that. I know that I'm going to if I end up being correct on this theory. But at the same time, I'm also going to be thankful that at least they kept them in. Again, we don't know what's going on with Game Freak specifically. We don't know everything that's going on in their company, so we don't know exactly why they're doing this with Sword and Shield. I still think getting Genius Sonority back on the fucking helm would be fucking amazing. They're the ones that helped with the game that you're seeing right now, although this is technically a ROM hack. But they're the ones that helped, oh yay, female Gardevoir, hooray. They're the ones that helped with Pokemon XD, Gale Darkness, and Coliseum, two of my favorite games of all time. They're the ones that helped make Pokemon Battle Revolution, but after Generation 4, they just disappeared. And I think that's a damn shame. I think that Genius Minority getting back in with Nintendo would be awesome. With Game Freak, anyway. But that's neither here nor there. That's just something I kind of wanted to state. But, like, to just make a very clear point here. If we have the ability to transfer all the Pokemon from Generation 7 into Pokemon Home, but Game Freak will only allow us to bring Pokemon they deem fit into Sword and Shield through Pokemon Home, that means that there will be Pokemon in Pokemon Home that are stuck in limbo. Stuck in limbo to wait for the eventual, and I'm throwing my fucking hat out here now, the eventual entry of that data. If Pokemon Home can store the Pokemon, who's to say that Sword and Shield won't be able to use them all? There's gotta be a way. And I think what they're going to do is that they are going to open up the access for later on so that people can actually get their hands on the games after buying another DLC pack. They're probably gonna I don't know, maybe just unlock Pokemon Home, unlock more features or whatever. I think they're just going to milk this cow until it dies. And while that is not what I personally desire from the company, it is an excellent business strategy. And one that I think Game Freak would 100% take into account. Because they know Pokemon prints money, but they also know that their games are their biggest seller when it comes to printing, or not their biggest seller when it comes to printing money. So I think what they're going to do is they're just going to make their games poop money and give us all a half-finished project, but will eventually make us pay for more additives. Is it fair? No. Is it right? No. Is it something I want? Hell no. But is it possible? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. And to end this little conglomerate video of mine, I just wanted to state, I am not a Game Freak apologist. I do not want them to cut a damn thing. I want them to give us everything we could possibly want in this game. I want them to give us Mega Evolutions. I want them to give us Z moves. I want them to give us more Mega Evolutions. I want them to fucking revisit concepts that they dropped off in previous generations. I want the Battle Frontier again. I never liked the Battle Frontier growing up, but now I want it just because we don't have it. I want them to bring back things that they threw aside because of a gimmick. I want high-quality animations. I want high-quality texture models. I want high-end graphics. I want so many things in Pokemon games. I've wanted these things since I started playing the damn games. The only thing that I've seen that they've done that I want so far as I can see, is a free-roaming camera. That's it. They've not done anything else. Everything else they've swept aside. And who knows, maybe it'll never happen. But I can still hope. And I will still hope to the day my body gives up that we will have a game like we will have Sword and Shield. We will have every single Pokemon, most likely about 930 of the beasts, all in one game, almost 1,000 Pokemon to do whatever with. And that's just kind of my thoughts. I just believe that it is very likely that they will release DLC for Sword and Shield, or updates to Pokemon Home, that will allow us about a month or a few months to a year after release, to import our Pokemon from Pokemon Home into Sword and Shield to use them all. That's what I think. But here's the deal. Here's what I want to know. Do you guys think that this is even possible? Because I've been kind of mulling over this for a while now, ever since I made my first video on Sword and Shield. I really think this is possible. I think that they're going to take the, the EA route and just microtransaction the fuck out of Pokemon. I don't like the concept. I don't like the idea, but it is a very sound, commonly used business practice right now. Is it terrible? Absolutely. Do I want to see it? Hell the fuck no. But it's very likely. And I think that's what matters, is that it is very likely. And you know what? If they do it, I'll shove another 30 bucks into Sword and Shield. I don't care. But anyway, guys, that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. Please let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below regarding this. Let me know if there's anything else about Sword and Shield that you guys have heard about that you'd like to hear me talk about and give my sort of opinions on. And that's going to do it for me today. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like to support the channel, links to my Twitter, Patreon, and my Let's Play channel will be in the description down below, so support me if you have the ability to. And please subscribe to the Let's Play channel, because starting very soon, I'll be releasing 2 videos every single week for Pokemon Ultra Moon, and hopefully some things will come out later after that. We will have to see. But until next time, this has been ZDS, making YouTuber fun one video at a time, and I will see you guys in the next video.